Hey guys, it's FFP, coming at you live, not really. And today, I'm doing something a little different than what I usually do. So, see, yesterday I went to my local mall, and there were a couple tables set up with a bunch of books, and they were all donated by other people, but they were being sold. It was $1 for softcover, $2 for hardcover, and $5 for a bag. And you can put as many books as you want in the bag, and it would only be $5. So I ended up getting 2 bags, which ended up being $10 total, and I ended up getting around 48 books. Now most of these are older books. Well, actually a lot of them are older books, 70s, 80s, 60s, stuff like that. Yeah, I believe the oldest would be in the 60s, maybe late 60s, and they're all around the same kind of genre. Sci-fi, action, adventure, fantasy books. They had other kinds of books, such as, well, because they were all donated, right? So whatever people had given to these people to sell, it would be that. So there were also cookbooks, Garfield, stuff like that. I contemplated getting the Garfield book, but I decided to leave it because maybe another kid would want it or something like that. It'd be better if a kid got a Garfield book than me, considering I already got 48 of these. But I did think if I got Garfield, it would be a nice change of pace and genre after going from reading something as serious as these books to going to reading some comic strips. So I'll go over all these books. I wouldn't classify myself as a bookworm or book aficionado, however you may call them, considering I don't really read that many novels. I think I bought most of these on impulse. Well, actually it wasn't even me who paid, but regardless, I do not actually read that much. Well, that's not true. I actually do read quite a bit. I think everyone does, just from different medias, maybe news articles, stuff like that. But my reading is mostly, religious texts, your Where's Waldo's, your encyclopedia, stuff like that. Never really like novels. Except in school, I did read, or I tried reading Sense and Sensibilities. I was in an advanced English class, which they won't be having next year, so I won't be able to finish up that curriculum. And we had to read advanced books, and I ended up getting Sense and Sensibilities. My teacher went up to me and she's like, I don't like this book. I think Pride and Prejudice is better. And I guess I'd hold her to that, because, I don't know, I never read it. Other novels I've read were some Star Wars Yuzon Vong War novels, and Rats, which was a book about killer rats. I needed something for silent reading, and your Shakespeare's, your Romeo and Juliet, and stuff like that, Macbeth. And so, going from those into reading these short novels, I think I'll enjoy quite a bit of them. I do like action, adventure, fantasy. I also have a thing for this kind of art style that you see on some of these older books. You'll be able to see them up close when I get to each book individually. Well, not individually, otherwise this video would take forever. But I will go through the series of books. I tried to get them in series, which is why I ended up getting so many, because I didn't want to get like 1 or 2 of the book, and then if I liked it, I wouldn't be able to finish the series. For example, I got Isaac Asimov's Robot City. I got all 6 books here, so now I'll be able to finish the story. If I, say, only got books 2 and 3, then I could be lost. But I'll get into Robot City in just a couple seconds here, but you'll know that it doesn't matter because these are technically all individual stories. They're all written by different authors. So without further ado, I guess I'll start with Robot City. So, starting off with Isaac Asimov's Robot City. It came in 6 books, and they're all written by different authors. You may know Isaac Asimov as the creator of iRobot. Well, kind of creator. It was originally, I believe, his idea, and one of his short story books is titled iRobot. So, these books were originally a challenge, I believe, to sci-fi authors to create a set of books using the 3 laws of robotics. I believe that's what it's called. I would apologize in advance. Most of the information I got regarding these books and their authors is from Wikipedia, so I apologize in advance. So this is book 1, Odyssey, written by Michael P. Cube McDowell. Book 2, Suspicion, written by Mike McQuay. Book 3, Cyborg, by William F. Wu. Book 4, Prodigy, by Arthur Byron Cover. Rob Chilson wrote Book 5, Refuge. And Book 6, Perihelion, written again by William F. Wu. I haven't read any of these books yet, but it would probably be the series I start with first, as it is the only complete set of books I got, and there are only 6, and they're quite short, so I should enjoy it. Sci-fi is always cool, robots are always cool, and I guess I'll read you a description from the back here. A man without a memory in a city of robots gone wild. At his side, a mysterious woman, whose identity he has reconstructed, and whose memories of him may be true or false. The young man calls himself Derek. And then, so on and so forth, is a bit of spoilers for that book. And since I was reading from book 6, I won't go into it. So next, I'll go into the Richard Blade series. So the Richard Blade series here is also Sword and Planet type books, written by various authors under the pseudonym Jeffrey Lord. These are all published by Pinnacle Books, and I would warn kids it probably ain't the book series for you, because I believe there's some adult content in these books. I believe. That's what I read off Wikipedia. Don't quote me on that. So, I have books 2, The Jade Warrior, book 3, Jewel of Tharn, book 5, Liberator of Jed, book 7, Pearl of Patmos, number 8, Undying World, number 9, Kingdom of Roith, I believe that's how it's pronounced, number 10, Ice Dragon, number 11, Dimension of Dreams, number 13, The Golden Steed, and number 15, The Tower of Melna. So these are all short books. I believe they all have their own separate stories. So for this set of books, it doesn't matter whether or not you get all of them or not. I believe there's a couple dozen of them, maybe 30 or so, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I'm not entirely familiar with the Richard Blade series. Actually, I haven't read any of these books. These are all going to be first-time reads for me, and I'm quite excited for them. But there's one thing all these books share in common, and that is the main character, obviously, and the fact that these all take place on different planets or different dimensions through the main character, somehow getting transported there some way. But yeah, most of these stories, as you can tell, written in America, most characters are quite American. I believe in one of the book series I'll get into later, one of the characters is actually from Virginia or something like that. It might be Richard Blade. It might be this one, but I think this is just some regular guy. But who knows? Next, I'll go into the Conan books I got. So here, I got 6 Conan books. 3 of which are distributed by Ace Books. One of them is distributed by Lancer, and the last one here is by Tor Fantasy Books. This is even though they're all published by different people, this is the chronological order, I guess. The order it should be read. Lancer, this one is actually book 4. Book 4, which would come after 2 and 3 here, because I got 2, 3, and 7 of the Conan books from Ace, but then I found this one, which is book 4, and this one was published by Lancer, so I guess they must be from different times. From what I heard, Ace Books is the original publisher, and yeah. So, the books I got 6 of them. I got number 2, Conan of Cimmeria, number 3, Conan the Freebooter, number 4, Conan the Wanderer, number 7, Conan the Warrior. And this is Conan of the Isles. There's no number on it, but from what I've seen, I believe this is book 12. But this is in a different series of Conan novels. So it could be 12 in that series or 12 in the original series, who knows. And then of course the Tor novel, but this is a much newer one. This isn't related to the older ones I have. This is actually, I believe, 90s or something, and written by Robert Jordan. All the others I have here are written by Robert E. Howard and L. Sprague de Camp, except Conan of the Isles, which, although originally has L. Sprague de Camp, but it has Lin Carter too. So that's interesting. And then Conan the Victorious here is just a separate book. And now I apologize for background noise. It seems like the neighbors are coming out of their shells and they're here to make some noise. Also, I had to wait a bit because the garbage truck was coming around the neighborhood. I live in a very noisy neighborhood. Should have you guys know that. I mean, I know our yard looks nice and all that, and this beautiful barbecue behind me looks like I'd have Tonga parties and stuff, but I don't. Now, I believe the next couple books on this list are the Lin Carter books I have, which is fitting because one of these Conan books were written by him. So now, on to Lin Carter. All these books I've gotten are all published by DAW Books, or DAW Books as I like to call them. I ended up getting 2 series, which I'll start first with the full series I got. Pardon the background noise, this road is usually busy. The Green Star Saga books, which there are 5 of them. There, I'll start with the first one. Under the Green Star. When the Green Star Calls. By the Light of the Green Star. As the Green Star Rises. And the last book, In the Green Star's Glow. These are also Sword and Planet, sci-fi, adventure, fantasy books. I might also read this one first after I'm done Robot City because, again, it's the only other full series I got. Although I could read the Richard Blade books too, because since they're more like anthology books, they all have their own stories, and they all finish kind of like Geronimo Stilton. Although this Geronimo Stilton is much more badass. These books, man, when I went shopping for these books, the number one thing I looked for, which is a bit of a shame, is the covers. Like, I like the way, I love the art style of 60s, 70s, 80s comic books and novellas, action adventure stuff. They just look so cool and epic. Like, I don't know if this is like painted or some kind of crayon and ink or something, but they're really cool, and that's what drew me to a lot of them. I like to draw, I like to sketch, I like to doodle, not so much painting. Not because I'm bad, but because I hardly ever do it anyways, so I never have the need. But I could stare at these covers forever. For all these books, man. They're just really cool. So that was the Green Star Saga books. This is the full 5 of them. And the other series I got were the Gondwane epics, which is on Wikipedia is called Gondwane series. But on the book here it says epic. So I got 4 of them. I'm missing book number 3, The Immortal, book number 4, The Barbarian, and book number 6, Giant. You know, they're all followed by World's End. So the titles of these books are always like noun and then of World's End. So I believe this is the first book, The Warrior of World's End. I have the second book, The Enchantress of World's End. And this is book 4, I believe. Book 4, oh no, this is book 5. The Pirate of World's End. And then, oh, I forgot about this one, but I also got The Year's Best Fantasy Stories by Lin Carter. There are a couple of these books. They're mostly collections of short stories written by other authors, and I decided it'd be cool if I got it. On the back, it says, "Here you will find as fabulous a volume of marvels as anyone could hope for. Here, for instance, will be found tales by Robert E. Howard, Jack Vance, Fritz Lieber, Lloyd Alexander, and L. Sprague de Camp. So, if you remember what I was talking about before, Robert E. Howard and L. Sprague de Camp wrote the original Conan books. So, I'm sure there'll be some cool stuff in here. The full title is Lin Carter, Master of Adult Fantasy presents the year's best fantasy stories. And there's a couple volumes of these that you can find. I don't really need to care about getting the others, just because unless I want to read these short stories, it's not like they have an overarching plot or anything that I need to worry about. So, those are the Lin Carter books. And next, I'll go on to the two miscellaneous books I got. There were two books I got that weren't from any kind of series, just standalone novels or books, and I'll go into them next. So, here I got two books, the standalones. First, I'll start with this, Michael G. Coney's Rax. I believe it goes by the title Hello Summer Goodbye in the UK and Palahaxie Tide in Canada. But that's where I am right now, so I guess this is the US version of the book. It seems to be about this guy crash landing on a planet or something. You know, very, very cliche stuff for books around this time. But according to Wikipedia, again, I know I'm bringing up Wikipedia, but sources. You gotta, in school, they taught us very harshly on how to use bibliographies. If I made an essay or a project without bibliography or giving credence to the source, then I would lose a lot of marks. And I hate making bibliographies. I hate APA, MLA, like why can't there just be one? But anyways, this story, from what I've heard, is odd in that the alien characters are very sympathetic and shown in a sympathetic light, whereas usually in these kind of books, the aliens are the bad guys. So, who knows? And what kind of sci-fi, fantasy, action-adventure book haul would this be if I didn't include any Star Wars? Yes, I got it. I believe this is the original print of Star Wars Tales from Jabba's Palace. If you don't know what this is pretty much an anthology book featuring original stories from a bunch of different authors, all about characters that you'd find in Jabba's palace. So like the droid here in the bottom that tortures all the Gong droids, there might be backstory about him or her, depending on Salacious Crumb. Who knows, there might be a story on him, story on Bib Fortuna, story on Jabba. Like, if there was a background character in episode 6 in Jabba the Hutt's palace, they pretty much got a story in here. I'm really looking forward to reading the story about the band that plays in Jabba the Hutt's palace. I forget their name, but Max Rebo Band, I believe they're called. I really want to read that story from here. And this book's actually in really good shape, especially compared to the other books. Like, there was a Conan book I would have got, but it was missing the cover, and I don't really, like, I'll get used books, but I want them to be in decent shape, right? I don't want them to be missing pages. That's a no-no for getting used books for me. And this one's nice. Like, aside from maybe a bit of creases in the corner here, I couldn't find anything wrong with this book. Like, no ruined pages. Oh, well, actually, guess I was wrong. I found a bookmark in here. Oh yeah, I should also let you guys know, some of these books that I got do not have table of contents. I believe the Richard Blade books and the Conan books don't have table of contents. Alright, I think the Robot City books don't have table of contents either. So you may have to just Oh no, Robot City has them. But I forget which books around here, but some of them don't have table of contents, so you'd have to use bookmarks to get through them. So, I guess thanks to the person who donated this book and left their bookmark in here, I don't need to go make one myself. So, good book. Good book. I'll probably read this too. It's like the Arabian Nights of the space. And now lastly, we'll get into the biggest chunk of books I got. The Dray Prescot series books. So, the Dray Prescot series is written by Alec Burt Ackers. From what I know, that's actually just a pseudonym for the real author, which was Kenneth Boner. And there are 53 of these books, which are told in 11 cycles, which are pretty much like if you ever read a manga or a comics, arcs or storylines. So You can all tell by their name kind of which arc they're from, or from the number they have. So, say I have books from about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or from 6 cycles. The only complete cycle I have is the Jakaida cycle, which is books 19 to 22 here. But I'll go through all the ones I have. So I have number 1, Transit to Scorpio. Number 2, The Sons of Scorpio. Number 3, Warriors of Scorpio. If you're wondering why the formatting looks different on this DAW version of the book than this DAW version of the book, you have me dumbfounded, because I also found another version of 2, I believe, with the same kind of cover. Like, most of the books I have, Dray Prescot, have like this, where it's like a border with the picture, as compared to a full cover picture. But yeah, that's just how it works. Sword Ships of Scorpio, which is book 4. Arena of Antares, which is number 7. Number 8, Flyers of Antares. Number 12, The Tides of Kurgan. Number 15, Secret Scorpio. Number 17, Capture Scorpio. Number 18, Golden Scorpio. Whoop. Number 19, A Life for Kurgan. Number 20, The Sword for Kurgan. Or Kregan. My bad. I apologize for all the times I said Kurgan. It's actually Kregan. My bad. A Fortune for Kregan. A Victory for Kregan. And the last book I have, number 23, Beast of Antares. So these all look really cool. I would wish that I had more of the complete sets. Like, I'd be fine with getting less books if they were like the complete cycles, so then I get the full story. But even if it's just in little fragments and stuff like this, I think it'll still be worth reading. They look really cool, and I mean, you know, popular enough to get 53 books, like holy moly, you ain't gonna get tired of reading those if I ever get them all. So, those were all the books I got, everyone, and I hope maybe you'll check out some of these books yourself too. They all seem really interesting if you're into sci-fi, action, fantasy, that kind of books. Maybe you'll enjoy these too. And, you know, I think another reason why I got all these books is because I believe the art of books and literature is becoming sort of lost in today's society. Like, with the advent of the phone and just using the internet to read everything, audio books and all that, no one really wants to read or buy the physical copies. Also, the fact that most bookstores are going out of business now. Like, there used to be a Chapters beside the Cineplex near my house, but now it's replaced with a Home Sense. When they had a Winners right beside it, now it's Winners Home Sense. So, you know, now if you're waiting for a movie to come on and you get to the theater early, now instead of going to the Chapters and the Starbucks that's there, you can go to Party City or Home Sense, or better yet, you can go to Home Depot. Yeah, that's totally building community. Like, I mean, hey girl, you want to go hang out at Home Sense? And then we go to the movies, and then after that we go Home Depot for lunch. Ugh. Well, actually, I guess it would be more like dinner. Although there's also A&W and Tim Hortons there, but I'm getting off topic. But anyways, yeah, there's something, at least to me, that's gratifying and satisfying as holding a physical copy of history in your hand. Like, there's something just so cool. I like antique stuff. I wouldn't say I'm a collector or anything, but it would be cool to have a curio shop. You know, have some shrunken heads around. But anyways, off topic again, which means I'm probably running out of things to talk about, which means I'm probably pretty much done talking about these books. So I'd like to thank you, everyone, for watching. This is probably a really long video. Sorry about that, but I had 40-something books to go through. And thanks for watching. FlashFirePrime, signing out.